What's good, guys? We're back at it again with another video. As you can see from the title, today we have my high school basketball story, 10th grade, my sophomore year. And for this video, as well as the next high school basketball story time I drop my 11th grade year, I want you guys to pay close attention because there are a lot of things that I went through when I was a sophomore in high school, when I was a junior in high school, that I feel like a lot of you guys are going through, and it can really help you. Let's jump right into it. So just picking back up from my freshman year video, if you guys don't remember, I spent most of my freshman year playing on the freshman team and playing on JV, and I was swinging. Towards the end of the year, I started to play more JV because I had good performances on the freshman team. Remember, I had the triple-double. Then my high school varsity coach is calling me, texting me, hey, come to varsity practice after school. And I told you guys, I was scared. Oh, coach, my phone died. I'm already on the bus. I can't make it today. Season starts to come to a close, and all of a sudden, what time of year is it for basketball players? It's AAU season, and I am a rising sophomore. And at this point in my basketball career is when I made a decision that differed from, I'm telling you, everyone else in the Cal High School boys basketball program. I truly believe that this decision that we're about to talk about changed my career. We talked a little bit about this in my getting on the circuit story time, but we never really went into depth about it because this was something that was serious. Everyone else in the Cal boys high school basketball program was playing AAU that summer. I mean, every single player in my family had talked about it. We talked about how I had just performed this last year, and we were just putting all those things into account, how my confidence was on the court. And we came together as a family and decided that me, Brian Thomas II, was not going to play a lick of live basketball, AAU basketball at all that entire summer after my freshman year of high school. All I was going to do was train. And that decision didn't go over well with anybody. I'm talking about my high school coach was mad, like really mad, telling my parents I needed to be playing, telling me I needed to be playing. Literally, like we'd be in off-season workouts. He'd be like, yeah, I'm not sure what you're doing with that trainer, this, and that. Like, this was serious. Plus, I got my teammates, obviously. Some of their dads got AAU teams. So they in my ear, yeah, man, my dad just said, you don't even have to pay, just come to practice. Like, we need you on the team. And they be posting highlights from their AAU games over the weekend. And yeah, you should have been there. This, and that happened. So at that point, I'm just thinking to myself, like, all right, B, did you make the wrong decision? Should you be playing right now? Is everybody else getting better than you? It looked like they're getting better than you because when they come back to school over the weekend and they show me their AAU highlights, I'm like, man, I don't got no highlights, and I don't know how much better than them I'm actually getting right now with this training. Actually, the training versus actually playing games over the summer and the offseason is a pretty important topic in the basketball space. A lot of parents, a lot of players struggle with that because they don't know which one to choose. Here's my stance on it, and here's how my decision affected me. The reason why, as a family, we were so comfortable going with the training route instead of going the AAU route. And keep in mind, when I say AAU at this time in my career, there was no Adidas circuit. There was no EYBL. I didn't even know about that stuff. So the only AAU that I knew about was, like I said, my teammate's dad has a team. He's going to take us to some local tournaments around the area, and that's about it. I'm not really going to get exposure from that. Like I was saying, the reason why we went with the training is because of the trainer I was actually working out with. So if a person, a player, family comes up to me now and says, hey, which one should I do? Honestly, it depends on how good that player is at the time and how good the trainer is, because I've told you guys before, a lot of the trainers nowadays, they just want to get you in the gym with a film crew so they can put some cones out and record you doing NBA moves, knowing that those moves aren't translatable to the level that you're playing at, nor are they translatable to the collegiate level, which is where you want to play at. So it doesn't really work out. But the difference with me was we went to a trainer who already had, keep in mind what I'm saying, a set track record showing that he gets players better and he gets players to where they want to go. So for me, that first day when my dad said, get up, we're going to Carver College in Atlanta and we're going to work out with this guy named Coach Rolando Lamb. I didn't know who that was. I didn't know what was going on, but I show up to that gym and he goes through the whole spiel. He's telling me how he's America's character coach, and you know, he has a son by the name of Jeremy Lamb. If you guys don't know who that is, just know that he's been in the NBA for a little while now. You should know who he is. And Coach Lamb actually trained Jeremy throughout his entire basketball career, from when he was a kid all the way up to when he got drafted in the first round. So at that point in my career, it just made sense for me to go train with the guy who's already put one son in the NBA, and his other son actually played at the Division I level. So he's put two kids on scholarship at the D1 level. It made sense to go do that. instead of, like I said, go play AAU and I might not be getting that much better because I'm not working on my individual skills and I know I'm not getting the exposure. Just made sense to go train with Coach Lamb. I'm gonna put his @ right here for Instagram. Make sure you guys go check him out. He does still actually train players, but those workouts he put me through, like I was expecting something, I got something different. I was doing hurdles, I was doing ladders, I'm working on my hand-eye coordination with tennis balls. I'm doing all this. Wasn't expecting it. And at the time, remember, I told you guys, my teammates are coming back to school showing me highlights. And I'm like, man, they getting better than me. Like, I don't even know if what I'm doing is working. But what I do know is when I finish my workouts with Coach Lamb, which might only be 45 minutes to an hour, I'm laid out on the floor and I can't move. So I'm really laying there like, man, I should just be playing right now. What am I doing? Summer ends and I've played no live basketball at all, no AAU basketball, unless you want to count me playing outside with some of the kids in my neighborhood as live. That's the most live basketball I had played all summer. I was just working out with Coach Lamb that whole time. The season comes around and I forgot to tell you guys this. Starting in the middle of that summer, I started to hear some rumblings from my teammates like, yeah, we about to get this transfer and he's 6'7" and he's a big and, you know, you're not playing AAU right now. So he about to take your spot when the season starts. And I'm like, man, I'm not hearing none of that. I'm saying to them, I'm not hearing none of that, but I'm trying to look up this dude highlights because he's a senior. And keep in mind, I'm in 10th grade. So all of a sudden, as a 10th grade basketball player, I have to go up against a 6'7" senior. Also, there's a 6'4" senior on varsity who was a big man. And he was athletic. Also, when I was a sophomore, I'm like 6'4" to 6'5". So I'm pretty much the same height as the one senior. And the other senior is bigger than me. So I'm really worried about it. We start to get to our first games. And lo and behold, I'm on JV and I'm also on varsity. But here's the thing that kept throwing me off for the entire beginning of the year. I'd play JV. Then it'd be a varsity game where my coach would give me a lot of minutes. Then it'd be a game where I don't dress JV and I just play varsity, and then it would be switched and it would be back and forth. Keep in mind, this is also at that same time where we're in varsity practice and coach stops the practice because I didn't dunk the ball. He throwing the ball in my chest. I done told you all the story before, yelling, dunk the ball. So I was low-key feeling some type of animosity. Like, I guess he don't like me because I didn't play AAU. I was playing soft, but at a certain point, my mindset's starting to change. And I'm like, all right, he's not better than me. Why are you not playing me? He's might be a little bit taller than me, but I still don't think he's that much better than me. I should be getting on the floor. There would even be some games, I remember this specifically, at St. Pius High School in Georgia. I'm sitting on the bench. Sellers walk down the bench, looks me straight in my eyes, and tells that other 6'4" big to get in the game. I'll never forget that. Because that moment for me was one of those points in my career where I was just sitting back thinking to myself, like, I can't go for this no more. I'm not. Like, I can't let these dudes play over me. Like, they just can't happen anymore. I actually ended up getting my opportunity to play more sooner than I thought. It didn't happen after, I just went into practice and I just dominated for a couple weeks and all of a sudden I was on the court and I was a starter. That's not how it happened. The 6'7" big that transferred in actually had a health issue that happened. So all of a sudden he was out for an indefinite amount of time and I had my opportunity to play more. With that new opportunity and with these new increased minutes, all of a sudden you started to see a progression in my game. All of a sudden I'm finishing better. I'm catching the ball better. I'm moving up and down the court better. I'm understanding the game better. I'm a way better athlete. And I didn't realize this until later in my career and, these last couple of years, how much that decision to go train instead of playing AAU actually helped me. Because I didn't realize it when I was a 15-year-old laying out on the ground at Carver about to pass out, but I was getting better that whole time. I didn't turn into an NBA player. I didn't turn into a pro, but I was getting better. Every single time I stepped into that gym at Carver, I was getting better, and it started to show my sophomore year. As that 10th grade season came to a close, I stayed the starter for the rest of the year, didn't give up my spot. I also ended up growing. So like I said, I started that year probably around 6'4", ended it closer to probably around 6'6". So I was growing on and off the court. Also, I can't say I had many, crazy out of this world performances, but what I did do as a 10th grader when I was on varsity was show that I could hold my own, show that I can compete, and I showed flashes of a player that I could become later on down the line in my career, which is why on that one day, and this is when it's going to start to blend into that getting on the circuit video, Coach Sellers comes to me and our point guard, Kendrick. Hey, we got this workout at Wheeler High School I want you guys to go to. Don't say nothing else. You guys can go watch the video for that story. Like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications. That 11th grade video is going to drop soon. And just like this one, it is also extremely important because I had a lot of things going on that you guys can learn from, especially after I just played my first session and it didn't go the way I wanted to, didn't get that offer. But if you guys want an evaluation or a breakdown that goes on the channel, hit my website, btibasketball.com, in the description. If you have any questions for me, need any advice, hit my link from Noodle in the description. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys next time in the next video.